Australia has no other school like it. It's a Quaker school in Hobart run by the Society of Friends. The school was established in 1887. The educational aims of the Friends School are closely allied with Quaker philosophy. They were summed up by one headmaster as the need to recognise the supreme importance of the human personality, to appeal to the divine within the human, to treat each scholar as an individual, and so help the unfolding of personality. The school has about 1,000 pupils, but the non-Friends far outnumber the Friends. In fact, there's not much tangible evidence of Quakerism at the Friends School today. Of course, there are some reminders that this is a Quaker school. Every morning, assembly begins and ends the same way, in silence. But probably the most noticeable reminder is the Friends Meeting House that adjoins the grounds of the junior school. It's a modern building, but the ways of the Quakers are apparent. The meeting house is completely unadorned. There are no paintings, crosses, statues or flowers. The meeting house is only 5 years old, and modern chairs are used instead of church pews. There's no altar, but there are the benches, used in all Quaker meeting houses since the 17th century. The school's greatest improvements, such as a new science building, have come during the terms of the previous headmaster, Mr. Ernest Unwin, and the first Australian Quaker to become headmaster of Friends, Mr. William Oates, now on leave overseas. A pulley system in the chemistry laboratory to store acids off the desk was designed by a science master, and senior students installed most of it. The students are enthusiastic about this sort of teacher-pupil cooperation, and they've got one of the best equipped schools in Australia. It's probably the only one that owns a Tasmanian tiger. The biology laboratory has a deep freeze unit in which to keep specimens, its own darkroom, and a suction fan system to eliminate unpleasant odours. The biology laboratory also has desks fitted with cupboards in the front where microscopes and other equipment are kept when they're not being used. The new science building itself was a cooperative effort. All the science teachers were given free rein to draw up a plan showing exactly what they wanted. They got almost everything, and the block cost £55,000. The school's curriculum is broad, and it allows students to develop special interests. Members of the Astronomical Club have their own astrodome on top of the science block. It's made of fiberglass and costs £300. Through the club, the students are able to keep up with current space exploration. Interest in contemporary events is encouraged by the school. Even the range of non-academic subjects is wide enough to provide for every student. The art classes cover metalwork, pottery, technical drawing, painting and woodwork. There's also screen printing and sculpting. With its emphasis on the development of personality, the Friends School relies less on the spectre of examinations and more on individual attainment. Reports do not show class places, and prizes are not distributed on speech night. Yet the school more than holds its own in public examinations. The Friends School is owned by the Society of Friends in Australia and run by a board representing every state. In its 78 years, there have been 8 headmasters, all except one of them Quakers. The students range from 5-year-olds to the 18-year-olds in matriculation classes. It's co-educational right through, not only for day pupils, but for the 136 boarders as well, another feature of the school. Whether boarders or day pupils, the students mix during school hours and after school as well. They come together for sport and such projects as the school paper, Focus. It's brought out about 8 times a year by a student staff of 25. The students' interest in their school and in each other is a reflection of the school itself. For part of the Quaker belief is the emphasis placed on each child as a unique person, an attitude that affects every child. Many of the boarders are Quaker children from other states. Since the school's earliest days, friends have been sending their children from all over Australia and overseas. And the boarders, too, observe the silence that is part of the Quaker tradition.